Hello. Oh, that's loud. Thought we'd have a little music first. How's it going, guys? I'm gonna wait a couple minutes and let people have time to get on. So enjoy the music. I think I'm using a new platform. It's called StreamYard. And so I'm gonna get on and make sure that maybe someone can comment if you're watching and let me know if you can even hear me, because I've never used this before. So let's see if it's working. I don't know. If somebody could let me know, maybe message me on Facebook. Let me know if you can hear me, guys. How are you doing? So I called this a workshop at first, and then I was thinking, that's the last thing that I want is for people to have to think it's something they have to take notes for or something like that. Let's be honest. I'm just here to get a break from the kids after dinner. So, okay, well, I hope this is working. We're going to talk about creating a safe place. That is the whole theme for the week, and I think that is a very important thing to talk about right now, because everything, and so a lot of us are stuck at home, and we're still feeling just out of control and anxious. And I've had so many people say to me, my anxiety is through the roof. And so I thought, you know what, first we really need to talk about grounding, because it's the opposite of anxious. And if you think about it, if you're saying my anxiety is through the roof, the ground is kind of the opposite of that, right? So I'm going to try and talk really kind of slow, because that's another thing that helps ground us, because when things are spinning out of control and they're going really fast, that's when we get really anxious, right? So another way to kind of describe grounding is we all have energy flowing through us, right? So if you think about a live wire that's not grounded, that's just kind of flipping around and sparking everywhere, that's kind of what we feel like when we are not grounded. So then if you ground that wire, the energy has a nice channel and it feels more comfortable. So I have some things I'm going to tell you that are just some tricks that help me get grounded, but the most important thing is to figure out for you what helps you get grounded, and even just knowing when you're not. So if you can start to realize in the first subtle signs of it before it gets too crazy, then that will help a lot, and your bounce back rate will be so much better. So the way I learned was by honestly meditating a lot, and so I could kind of get to know myself better and my different kind of fears and feelings that come up and that kind of stuff, and just recognizing how I felt when I was really calm made the difference from knowing when I started to get anxious. And some things that I do when I am getting anxious, the first thing is you kind of lose your breath. Your breath is your spirit embodied in you. So as soon as your anxiety goes through the roof, so does your spirit. It goes crazy, it goes out. So by breathing, you're kind of bringing it back. And so that's one of the first signs for me is I'll start having really shallow breathing. Sometimes I'll get really thirsty. I'll clench my jaw. I will bite one particular part of my tongue for some odd reason. Sometimes I'll find that I'm standing really weirdly and uncomfortably. A big thing is are you comfortable? Because if you're comfortable, you're probably not anxious, and you're probably grounded. So that's a good way to think of it. But I'm here to bring out your inner wisdom, because you know what's best for you. And that's what this week is all about, because we're hearing stuff we're getting barraged with information. If we have kids at home, we're having to now lead them through virtual learning. And I have my girls' dance school emailing me links that we can do their dance classes, and all this stuff is wonderful. And I'm thankful that we live in this time where we have this technology available to us. So even though we have to practice social distancing, we can still do things like this. We can do the virtual learning and on all that stuff. And I'll really quickly tell you a little bit about myself. I struggled and survived with anxiety, depression, and panic attacks for 15 years. And just recently, in 2020, just completely turned myself around here. And it has to do with past life regression therapy is what really, really, really helped me. So I was on 4 medicines for all my symptoms. I went down to only 1. I'm telling you, I would be completely freaking out on a whole different level right now if I hadn't had that healing occur. So I learned how to do it, and I'm so happy to be able to offer it to people via Zoom right now, because we can't do face-to-face. But so that's my story, and I just have a passion for helping people unlearn anxiety and remember peace, because that's really what it did for me. It was help me remember that everything that I need is inside of me. So that's what I'm trying to share with you guys this week. So, okay. So I'm going to start just going over some things that help with grounding. And please, I'm sure a lot of you know about this and you have your own things that you already do. So let's share, because there's always another trick to learn. So we are welcoming all the help right now from everybody. We're all in this together, right? Okay. So let me read some of my things that I wrote down. I've been jamming to a lot of oldies lately, because when I was little, that is something that made me feel really together and safe with my family. That we had like this camp, and we would go and we would all dance to oldies, like out in this like shelter house. And so that has been really helping me feel just like, okay, I'm just kind of pretending this is like a big, just like a holiday with my family, right? We're just all enjoying each other and that kind of stuff. Okay, so getting grounded. I spoke about the breathing. I'm going to share a technique with you guys that really helped me, because when I start to get anxious and I start to get that really shallow breathing, it's really hard. It used to be even harder for me to get back to like normal, regular breathing. And when I had that shallow breathing, I just couldn't like calm down sometimes. So I just recently learned that if you can put your hand on your heart and on your stomach, and then take a deep breath, like push in while you take a deep breath, it like kind of forces you, it feels really good. It forces you to take that nice deep breath. And it's almost like wearing like a weighted blanket. You know how those kind of help with anxiety? It just really helps the air get farther down. So Another thing about grounding, if you are able, I know it's kind of chilly out, and I don't know where we all are in the world and everything, but if you can stand on the earth with your bare feet, that's like a direct, like literal grounding feeling. You'll feel that immediately. It's really cool. But if you can imagine that, even if you're not able to stand on the earth right now, even if you're standing up, just imagine pulling the air all the way up through your legs, all the way up, and like that will kind of pull your energy and anchor you and allow for that deep breathing. The breathing is so important. It sounds so like obvious and so simple that it frustrated me for a long time. Like, oh really? Like just change my breathing? Come on. But once I learned about the pressing on yourself when you breathe, like it's a huge difference when you're in that shallow breathing, which is kind of like the fight or flight. Or I think a lot of us are jumping to that. We have all these ups and downs throughout the day right now, where we're just kind of like, we don't really know what's going to happen next. And like, that is normal and to feel that way. So this is a real quick way to kind of get yourself back in your body, because when you're not grounded, you're not in your body. So you're not connected and you're not feeling yourself. And so it's hard to find any solutions from that space. So if you can get back in your body, you feel more connected, that's where you're going to find your solutions that will help you with whatever life is throwing at you, right? So, okay, so breathing. So a big thing that's also helping me, and it also goes along with the breathing, is just bringing your energy down. So when my kids are all coming at me, and they have been, So I have a 9-year-old and a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, and they all have their different levels of what the F is going on right now, right? So tell me what ages your kids are and what specific, challenges are going on with those ages, because it's amazing to me how different each of my children is handling this. So the 9-year-old, she just is like a little mini grown up all of a sudden. She's just coming out with all the anxiety about everything. And it's just a matter of like sitting with her and listening to her and then reassuring her. And then the 5-year-old, she's just kind of I'm sorry, I don't know. Gotta silence my phone here. The 5-year-old's just kind of like emotional. So she'll just start crying at the drop of a hat. So then it's almost like maybe we should be doing that too, right? Maybe we hold it in too much. But the 2-year-old is acting totally strange. He is just like whiny, clingy, but I think they can all feel how we are feeling. So that is another reason why this is so important, because we are their safe place until they can learn to create their own. But if you're anxious and you're not grounded and you're having any kind of mental stuff going on, and if you don't feel safe, then your kids are going to feel that even more. So hopefully this can help. Okay, so bringing your energy down, like when your kids are coming at you and you feel that, I feel the anxiety right around like here. It's almost like a drowning, like the water's coming up and my anxiety. So if I try to bring my energy down below that, it actually really helps. It's almost like a hunkering down, like waiting for the storm to pass kind of thing. So, and kind of notice where in your body that you're feeling the anxiety, so sometimes people feel it in their stomach. And so try to maybe bring your energy down to your knees or your ankles, or wiggle your toes and try to bring it below wherever you're feeling uncomfortable, basically. So there's that. I'm so sorry. I'm just really having I don't know what's going on with I don't know if you guys can hear all this dinging, so I apologize. Okay, so other things you can do, there's foods that are grounding, and it makes a lot of sense when you think about it, because it's like potatoes, like roots, things that are grown in the ground will be very grounding for you. If you eat meat, red meat is more grounding for some reason than others, maybe because the cows are eating grass or whatever. But so those are some grounding foods. I really like to make like sweet potatoes and like even like carrots and a nice like roast beef or something is really helpful. And some obvious things that we're all trying to do anyways that also help with anxiety levels are just eating 3 meals a day at least, drinking all the water, trying to limit the caffeine and alcohol and stuff like that. Now that's like basic, but what you can also learn from that is if you get to lunchtime and you realize that you've only had coffee all day, I would just say like 99% chance that you're not grounded, because healthy meals and especially protein and a balance will ground you. So I can't tell you how many days I've got to lunch and been like, oh, I haven't eaten anything. Oh, I had a donut at like 5 a.m. and why do I feel so crappy? So it sounds like simple and duh, but even if you just use it as a gauge, like maybe I'm not feeling real grounded right now because I need some protein or something like that. What was that old Snickers commercial, right? Like we just turn into a different person when we're hangry. My kids do, that's for sure. Okay, so we talked about that. Moving your body. So sometimes I'll wake up in the morning and feel just like who knows what kind of dreams I was having or what, but I am just not myself. And I can't stand it. So I'm automatically like ungrounded when I wake up. Does anyone else have that happen? So I have to move my body right away. I have to put on some kind of song and just like start shaking it out. There is, I'm not a doctor and I don't know all these like technical terms, but the layer of like muscle, fat, tissue, whatever between like your skin and your muscles and stuff. I think it's called fascia. It is a connective tissue, and if you literally like shake your body, and there's stretches that you can do with it too, but I don't remember those. so I just kind of like shake it out. But it literally like will connect you back in sometimes. So that's one of my tricks too, especially in the morning, because that also helps me wake up and all that good stuff. So that's a good thing for the morning. You can squeeze your shoulder blades together when you're breathing too. It's just like, I get really hunched over when I'm anxious and in that place. So squeezing your shoulder blades is kind of like, okay, I'm all right. I'm here. I can handle this. If you can get your hands in like a pot of soil, that's a really good way to ground yourself. People who plant and garden and that kind of stuff, that's a really helpful thing to do. Even cooking is something that can really ground you. So those are a couple activities. Something that really helps me is elements of wind, fire, air, water. So I will light a candle, or I've been using like smudge sticks lately, or like sage or something. If you light something and have like a flame, that really calms me down. Even thinking about that really calmed me down. And like the smell of like a campfire calms me down. So like that's an elemental thing. Water, so you could sit in a bath or take a shower, or even just put your hands in water, like wash your dishes, and that could really use the element of water. Opening a window, I believe that energy kind of gets stagnant, and when we're all cooped up in the house together and we're like at each other's throats for half the day, or like we're just frustrated and angry, like today was raining all day and we were just kind of like in the house. So if you open a window and just like stand by it, and you could just feel all that funk just leaving you. It's really awesome. And like if there's a breeze, that's even more helpful. So what do we say? We said fire, or we talked about the earth with the planting and stuff like that, and water and all of that. Okay, so we talked about a lot of things, but I will tell you, I don't want you to try to remember all of those things. I don't want you to feel like you have to pull out your lists of like, what are these things that are going to ground me? Because I'm a mom. You might be a mom. You might have a full-time job. You might not be able to, 10 times a day do one of these things. So now I'm going to try to help you with wherever you are in your life, just to ground yourself enough to have something come to mind, because this is what happens to me. As soon as I get anxious, I forget all of this stuff. I could be watching someone's video. I could be all inspired. I could be like, yeah, oh my gosh, this is it. I'm going to be fine now. I'm telling you, as soon as I get anxious, it's like, whoop, like, I don't remember. So the most important thing is then coming back and getting grounded again. And what has been helping me lately, because we've all been going through this, guys, this is new for all of us. So I just want to hug all of you guys, because I just know it's not easy. But what has been helping me is really slowing myself down, because I get really wound up, and sometimes it's in a good way, like I'm excited and I'm like, yeah, we're getting stuff done today, like we're clearing stuff out of our house, whatever. But sometimes it's in a frustrated way, or like just an anxious way, and but then my thoughts are going too fast, and I actually can notice I'll like knock things over, or like I'll bump into stuff, like, and then I'm like, okay, hold on, I'm getting ungrounded again. And so then I have to like do this really, it's uncomfortable, I'm not gonna lie. It's just like a slow down kind of thing. It's like your heart's beating and you don't really want to slow down and breathe. And sometimes you can't because you have kids and they're going nuts, right? But you can still do it. You can still start to talk slower. And even if they're pulling at you and being crazy, you can notice every little thing about them. And I'm telling you, it will bring you right back into the present moment, which is the place where you are safe, you have all your power, and you can feel your joy. And anxiety is the scary future. Depression is the heavy past. The present moment is you're free. If you can really, really get into the present moment. It's not easy, and it's something that I try to do every day. I don't always succeed, but it's practice. So we have this opportunity right now where we are going to be slowing down. We are being forced to, but we can look at it as an opportunity to really learn what is happening inside of us and how can we help ourselves, because that's what we have to do right now. So look, if you're a mom, look at your child, notice their eye color, their hair color, what they're wearing. Start to just say these things even out loud. That's what helps me too. I'm like, oh, she's wearing this white dress today with a denim jacket and she has these shoes on, or, there's tons of things you can notice. If you're not a mom, maybe whatever room you're in, I can talk. Find something, especially if you could find something that you like, that makes you feel good, that's even better. But if you're even in like a meeting or something, like a virtual meeting nowadays, and you only have like your pencils and pens and notebooks to look at, like you can still notice like, oh, my pen is this color, and it just starts to slow you down. So that's been saving me. So I wanted to share that. And I think that's all. I don't know. I can't see your comments. I'll try to see them on Facebook one more time. I'm using this new thing called StreamYard, and if I upgrade, I can see comments, but if I don't, I can't see them yet. So I'm kind of trying to decide if I want to use this going forward, and then I'll be able to see your comments. But I can always check back later and answer you guys. And so if you have questions or if you have something to share, please do. I just want to give you that sense of community tonight and just let you know you're not alone. And if you can, if you need any more support than what we've been talking about, just reach out to me. I also do one-on-one sessions, and I would love to help you. So thank you for watching. And oh yeah, tomorrow, let's see, what did we say it was for tomorrow? So we're going to do this at 7 for the rest of this week. So it gives me something to look forward to, honestly, because I'm doing this for you guys, but I'm also doing it for myself because I need to know this stuff, you guys. I need to remember. So I'm like, maybe if I talk about it enough, I will remember. Okay, so tomorrow we are going to talk about intentions and surrender. So that's a really good one right now too, because we all need to surrender a lot of things right now. So we're going to talk about how that's actually a superpower that's going to help you. So I love you guys. I'm sending you waves of peace and love, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye.